Finally, all of my PC parts have come in the mail, and it's time to put them together. I guess I'll go through them each as I put them in, and I've decided to do the build in my living room just because there's an awful lot of space up here. Okay, so just while I'm getting the case ready, I'm going to take off all the panels. I already took off the front and the back panel, and just if you look at the back side of this too, there's an awful lot of space on the back side, and you can actually take those hard disk drives and put them vertically back here if you only have one or two, and that'll open up the hole inside of the case. So let's take those front panels off, and that'll you can see the two 200mm fans that already come with it. I'm going to leave those there. Those are both blue LED. Now your top piece comes off. There's another 200mm fan, and I have actually purchased a fourth one which fits right here. Well, of course we run into problems with the very first thing I have to do. I'm trying to put this fan in, but to put the screws in I'm going to have to remove this top panel, and there's a couple screws right here. Forward a little bit for me. And it does. Make sure it's on. It still feels pretty snug anyway, so then we'll put these little tiny screws back. Perfect. Okay, that's on there good and snug. That's on there. Perfect. And we'll get the two, I guess I gotta take this out, and then I'll put the two Corsair fans, the 120mm down there. It does. There we go. The whole thing just slides out like that. And now, once I get those out of there, now I got room to put the fans in down on the bottom. So I guess the other thing I'm going to do first is see where the power supply fits over there, so I know how much clearance I have for the fans on this side. So I'm just going to take that out and set that in. And for the PSU, I got this Thermaltake 850 watt 80 plus gold, which is a pretty nice looking modular PSU. It's not completely modular. It still has your main, your motherboard and a couple of your plugs already in it. But as far as the PCIe connectors and the SATA connectors, they're all modular, so you only plug in the ones you need. Oh, and all the wires too come in this nice little bag that they sent. So everything's sitting in there. Pull out the ones you need, leave in the ones you don't. It comes with these little rubber, I'm guessing they're for vibration, and you just set them over the screw holes like that, and one has one hole, one has two, so you can put whatever on either side. There we go, a little less clutter. Make sure those are lined up on the back. It looks like they are. Perfect. So another really cool thing about this case is these fan filters, which it has on the bottom and the top of the case, which is really good to keep all of the dust out, as well as there's one on the front too. So all the intakes have these dust covers on them, which is great. Now I'm going to install these fans and stick them here and screw them in, and I won't bore you through that. I'll show you when it's done. Perfect. Fans are on, hidden away. And of course there's the big turbo fan, 140mm in the back, and then I got these two 120mm purple LED Corsair. So red, blue, purple should have a pretty cool glow. Those are similar colors. So the motherboard and processor I got this, which actually just came out last month. This is the new Devil's Canyon i7 4790K. It's the 4790 but the overclocking version, as well as the MSI Gaming 5. It's a Z97 chipset. We'll get my anti-static thing on here. I've actually had this since I built my first computer when I was like 15. I've had it forever. I've only built probably 4 or 5 computers now, but this piece somehow, very nice. That's a nice looking board there. Okay, well, let's break into the processor and see what we got. Okay, and now, look at how many pins are in there. That is just amazing. And now this part's pretty delicate, so don't bend any pins. Line up the tiny little arrow with... Well, there used to be a tiny little arrow, but I don't see one anymore. Oh, the tiny little arrow. There it is. It's hidden on top. So, it goes like this, and they should just drop right into place like that. No force. Don't bend those pins. That goes down. Tighten up. And apparently, that's all there is to it. So this is some pretty cool RAM I got for a really good deal. It's 16 gigabytes of DDR3, and it's actually 2400 megahertz. Apparently everybody says, you know, you don't really need it that fast, but I do, as you know, a lot of video editing and fast RAM. I'm going for fast everything, baby. So 2400, sure, why not? If you look right here, it says DIMM 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it says actually 2 and 4 first. So let's do 2. Make sure I get the opening in the right spot. 2. And 4. Ta-da! Okay, so this is the stock cooler that came with it. I'll just take it out, set it on top so you can get an idea. That's how it goes. This is the Noctua DHN14, whatever the frig it is. It's a Noctua gigantic piece of machinery, and that's, you know, take a look at the difference there. So now, do I have a problem? Yes, I do. I knew that was going to happen. So let's take the heat sinks off the top of these, and there should be enough clearance, I really hope, to put that on. And voila. Take those off, and look, the clearance there is like hardly anything, but you know what? That will do it. First and foremost, let us never forget the plate that goes in the back, so all of your nice little components out here will fit in nice and snug. This one actually has a little bit of foam on the back, so you get a nice, it should just push in there, just all nifty like, and look really nice on the back, just like that. Good thing about this one too is it already came with the standoffs in place for an ATX motherboard, so it should be right where it needs to be for me to lay it down and just put it together really easy. Okay, get that out of the way, set it down in here, it should fit nicely through all of those. Looks like where they're all supposed to go. So I'm just going to finish up here. So the next thing I'm going to do, my solid state disk. I got a 500 gigabyte. That way I got lots of room to work with videos and play with videos and stuff, and then move all the files over after. I also got a Seagate 1 terabyte 7200 RPM. This is also a SATA 3, so it can actually have up to 6 gigabytes per second of data transfer, which is amazing. This is also SATA 3, and in all honesty, this is also my very first solid state disk. The last computer I made was 4 years ago, so it is getting old, to say the least. couple stickers. I'm gonna have stickers all over the place. So, just the size of it is amazing. Let's see here. I guess I'll put it in drive bay 1 because it is the most important. And it looks like I can just... So, piece punched out, screws in, just tighten those up a little bit. Ta-da! Really small disc and a huge drive bay, which is fine. In it goes. That's pretty friggin' easy. This is just amazing. Cases have come so far. Then you just look, you just stick it back in. It's like, okay, there. Now it's not going anywhere. Hard drive in. Ta-da! Stick it back in. Lock it in place. That's just cool. 2 hard drives. That's pretty quick. Okay, so probably for about the last hour or so, I've been running wires. I got you know, all the power cables. I got all 3 hard drives in. I put my Blu-ray player in on the front there. Blu-ray writer, I guess that is too. So everything's run, and I, you know, made it as nice as I could in the back. And I think now we're getting to probably my favorite part and probably my favorite piece I ordered. This is the AMD R9 290. It's the Sapphire version, and they've overclocked it, and they put this new cooler on the top because apparently the original one that AMD made wasn't that good. So this is called the Sapphire Tri-X, and it's supposed to be a beast. And look, it barely barely fits in here, but I know it does because I checked the measurements before I ordered it because I knew it was going to be tight. So in you go. I wonder if that's in the way. Back, which is a bit of a tangled mess, but it's certainly better than most of the other computers I've ever made. There. I think that should be all it needs. Well, it actually seems like it's going to be pretty easy to put this heatsink on, a lot easier than the last one I had. You kind of made this plate, and you just put the pins. It tells you where to put them depending on what chipset you have. Mine's the 1155, so that comes through. Now you put these little rubber dowels on. Alright, it is almost 2 in the morning, so I did put one of the bars on upside down, but now I fixed it. Nice little semicircle. I got a little dab of the Noctua NTH1 thermal gel that came with it. Cooling compound, whatever you want to call it. So now this goes on here, like so. I can't see that going anywhere. And voila! Slide the fan down in, slide the fan down in, connect on both sides, on there nice and tight, and that's it. That took a really long time, and probably just because I haven't done it in a while. Ta-da! This is 3D Mark, which is a program that is specifically designed to push your computer and see how it ranks against other computers. So here's just kind of a printout of one of the ones I did, and this is Firestrike, which is one of their toughest, hardest, marks they have out right now, and it gives you all kinds of information on how you rate it over 4 different tests that test different things, your graphics, your CPU, and all that stuff. So just as you look through my things here, you can see the memory clock, 1300 megahertz. There's the 4.7 gigahertz right there. This actually isn't right here. If you look at the graphics clock, it says 1000 megahertz, but I've actually overclocked it. So if you go here to the GPU clock, which is this line up here, and you click there, you can see it's actually running at 1110 megahertz. So I'm getting an extra basically 11%, I guess, out of the GPU just by clocking it up, turn it up a little bit, basically. So an extra 10% out of the GPU, 4.7 over 4.0. I don't know what percentage that is, but that's quite a jump too. So you can see you can drive a lot of extra power out of these pieces if you know how to do it. So temperatures, here's the GPU temperatures. You can see it consistently get hotter and hotter and hotter as the tests run. Here's frames per second, which tend to wander around a little bit. And of course your CPU temperature goes up and down, except for this one here, the physics, it constantly goes up and up and up and up and gets to about 69 degrees there, which is pretty hot. So here's the other really cool thing about this program is you can actually put it online and see how you fare against other people with your score. This computer actually is running 93% better than every computer to ever run this test. Mind you, most people who are doing this test are people that are building computers and want to see how good they can get it. So to be up in the top 7%, I guess, if you want to put it that way, with one video card, a single video card, and a build under $2,000, that's pretty friggin' awesome. And it's actually not too far out of the top 100. I'd probably be top 200 or 300, I bet. Anyways, I'm pretty happy with the way everything turned out. Video games are amazing. I've run Wolfenstein on it. In any game I've put on it, I've put full, I've put full settings on as high as I can get it. No clutter, no jitter, no nothing. The Witcher, same thing. I can run. South Park: Stick of Truth isn't hard on the game, on the video card, but it is a awesome game. So there's my computer. I love it.